wind has really picked up. Nothing dangerous, but we're gonna go ahead and cross the entry street here and head towards our next family section. See if we can find any more Civil War veterans along the way. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a Revolutionary War veteran. I don't know that there was any marked to have been here, but you never know. So before we get started exploring here, it looks like this is probably going to be the second part here. So welcome back to 539, and also don't forget new episodes every single Tuesday and every single Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just so that no one forgets, so that no one doesn't get notified. And if it doesn't show up on your timeline, you don't need to worry. You can just go straight to the channel and check it out there. And if it's a Tuesday or Saturday and it's after 8 a.m., it's going to be there. Uh-oh, we have some traffic. And I actually see something. It looks like maybe we have either it looks like it might be an old homemade ground level stone. It does have the appearance that there is some old lettering, etching, some sort, stamping. I'm not really sure. It could be a base stone. It does look flat enough, but it does have evidence that it may not be. Another one here, we have Etta and George Rhinesmith, and you can see that Etta also does not have a date marked of passing. We have 1857 to 1935, and you can see that they must have had somebody different do it. The 3 does not match. And also over here, there is no dates. So very interesting, kind of strange. Let me know what you think about that. And heading this way, I know we're heading away from the family section now, but I'm finding some interesting stuff. You see the graves here of the Fournay family. Nancy P. over here of 1861 to 1943. And then on the other side, we have Adam A. of 1847 to 1926. And that appears to be it for that Fournay section, although there is another Fournay section here. It looks like another family unit, David D. of 1858 to 1922. And then another mystery stone here that, again, could either be a base stone for a larger memorial or potentially is actually just a ground level homemade stone. Interesting in the middle of these rather expensive granite stones here that they would have that. It kind of makes you wonder what the story is behind it. And then we have Maggie here of 1868 to 1939. But what I found really interesting that I don't find very often, this isn't a really small place at all. It's definitely probably had a pretty good business structure and organization over the years, but I found this little perpetual care marker here that I usually find in much larger cemeteries and usually around mausoleums. So I found that to be kind of interesting, that right here in front of the Fournay memorial is the perpetual care. And again, I think that really just depends on whether or not the cemetery or a graveyard stays in the same ownership hands as to whether that gets fulfilled throughout the years. So very interesting. Let me know if you know anything more about that. I don't know, looks like we might. Okay, I think this is just a decorative little stone here. Yeah, and so far, as I look down, all the trees are completely clear on this side. Huh. Okay. So, I'm gonna finally make it to, it looks like this two-tiered, I'm guessing, several separate family sections here. The one behind being the Gage family, excuse me, and then looks like, this is kind of interesting. Okay, we have the Prosser grave here, 1873 to 1944 for William, and Aubrey of 1893 to 1912. And then next to it, also well within the walls here, we have the Shepherd family, and Clark of 1898 to 1968, and Grace of 1910 to 1981. And I don't know, it must have been related, I'm guessing, in some way, either that or it was maybe a private sale. Who knows? Kind of interesting. Let's go up here and check out the Gage family here. And so, it looks like 4 members of the Gage family. Bessie L. of 1887 to 1967, J. of 1887 to 1943, and on the other side here we have Amanda of 1863 to 1947, and Samuel 1857 to 1908. What an incredible place. Member of the Masons here. Looks like S.K. Kinsley. I don't know if, okay, we have a memorial next to it, Allie G. of 1893 to 1909. And then, I'm not really sure, it looks like maybe there should have been maybe another one next to it. Huh, interesting. Not really sure on that one. It might be a single person, but usually if it were, they wouldn't have just one single memorial there and then have like the big family section here. So I'm thinking something must be lost over time. Parr section here at the front. Catherine of 1850 to 1937. So many people here well before the Civil War. Must have been a well built up area. George of 1850 to 1926. We're starting to approach the newer section here. Obviously, all these here at the front are historical. Just so much empty space. Oh, surrounding this entire place, nothing but corn and grain. There's definitely some larger towns nearby. I can't really read this. Looks Fred F. Mortoff, 1882 to 1937, looks like. I think. Oh no, that might be 1882 to 18... No, that has to be 1937. And another, looks like pretty clearly handmade, privately made stone here. Looks like Abby Agnes, maybe. And I can't really get a good date on that, unfortunately. All right, well, let's do a quick walk around the sign here. Kind of an interesting old wood sign. Another one that I doubt is actually original, but it's really cool looking. And a really large hill here. You can see there actually are some memorial flowers laid on the hill. I don't know if somebody just stuck those in a later date when they blew, or if that's a memorial. We'll go check though. Before we do that though, I want to go up to the top because I saw this interesting formation. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too well, but it's kind of this large square here where the ground is kind of indented down to this point here, which is the lowest point, as if something is underneath that has been like filled in. And you can tell pretty clearly here with the way the grass is shaped, and it almost makes me think that there originally might have been like a hillside receiving vault and had an entryway somewhere in here going back this way, but I just don't see any good evidence of it. But it would have been the perfect place for it, it seems. Possibly. There is some historic graves that might have been in the way, but that's very interesting. Huh. Alright, let's walk around this hill here. We'll go up and see some of the memorials as well. I did want to just kind of... Yeah, it looks like someone just placed these in the hillside. Wow. Another huge tree that seems to be very precariously blowing in the wind. And wow, I don't know. I think this probably was an old planter of some sort. You can see the decorative stones here placed into the cement, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess it wasn't actually a memorial of anyone's, but is sadly falling apart. Behind here we have another family section. Interesting phrase here at the bottom, meet me in heaven. I've never seen that one before, but this is the Wiltrout family, Benjamin and Lucinda. Benjamin 1839 to 1898, and Lucinda of 1845 to 1912. Again, another family in this area that was around well before the Civil War. And you can see right next to this individual marker that's marked father, there is a U.S. veterans marker here, so likely fought in the Civil War. And another stray flag down here that we'll place up. Don't know exactly, I'll tell you what, it looks like it probably came from our veteran here, so we'll put it back with our Civil War veteran here. There, I think that would be appropriate. And trying to read that last name. Zonker, Isaac Zonker, father, 1849 to 1926. Very interesting. And another Zonker here, Arthur Wade Zonker, 1899 to 1899. Makes me again wonder, probably some missing markers here. You can see a lot of empty space, and yeah, it's definitely a child, so I would say that there's probably a mother's stone missing right here. and no sign of it sticking up anywhere. That's very sad. And Lutman family section here that also seems to be mysteriously devoid of any of the individual markers. You see Kenneth Carroll here. I'm not sure though if Kenneth might be a Lutman or a Miller. They almost more resembles the stonework almost more resembles the Millers here. You can see John, Amanda, and Clyde here, and John of 1856 to 19. Okay, that's 38. Okay, I thought it said 88 for a second. I was like, wow. Amanda of 1859 to 1944, and Clyde of 1879 to 1881. So yeah, it's kind of a guess of, it does kind of match, so maybe it is the sole surviving memorial for the Lutman family with Kenneth Carroll here. Huh. You know, there's so many in these rows like this that are just missing, you know. I even bet there were probably individual markers here. Here is something, it looks like just a section marker. And Elsie Frederick Ava, and no dates. It makes me, I wonder if there was something like a metalwork sticking on. I'm not sure on that. Another veteran here. Does not denote which war, but born in 1861. I can assure you they did not fight in the Civil War, but perhaps in the Spanish-American War. I'm not really sure on that. And next to it, I would almost guess that this is not a ground level handmade, but a base stone that probably had something like this on it. For Emma here, you see Emma of 1856 to 1927, and yeah, I would guess that is what would have been there based on, you see that we have the Wagner section here and two other Wagners here. Carl, it's like past 1886, and Aura of 1909, and clearly at almost the exact spacing we see a missing member of the family here. It's just incredible how many stones have just disappeared from this place. I mean, wow. And arriving here, I was skipping forward a little bit back to the hill, we've come to another one of these massive trees, and it looks like at some point this little landscaping area was planted. You can see some yucca or or whatever it's called, and some little ground cover plants here, and some of the branches that have obviously broken and fallen over the years. I say that as the wind picks up pretty heavily. However, once again, it does look like it's pretty clear of stones at this moment. However, if I do back up, you can see we're at the edge of this hill here, and this large tree definitely at some point could come down and crash into these memorials here. So it makes me wonder if there's any plans to do something about it. And just as I said that, that small little branch dropped out. Nothing big, obviously, but some poetic timing there. And we're at another section here, the Getz family section. Looks like maybe might get, looks like Aaron, and that's all we can get from there. And on the other side, we have Elizabeth of 1847 to 1915. Another kind of mystery divot here in front of this Howland historical grave here. Let's see, Lula of 1878 to 1923 and Fred of 1872 to 1934, and then this kind of interesting divot in the ground as if something once was here. Another veteran marker here. And then we'll check out some, what could be a damaged area, but I'm not sure again. And so we see here the marker, really beautiful stone too. That blue is not just showing up like that on the camera. That is incredible. The Francis Rowe of 1855 to 1919. I believe, yeah, 1919. And then next to it, we have John Rowe. Huh. So there must have been a spelling mistake. Either they accidentally added an E to Francis here, or they accidentally forgot the E on John here. Strange. You can see that they were part of the 22nd Indiana Infantry. So let me know what you think. Which spelling is correct?